All right, we are going to get started here. We were having some real technical issues, but thank you all for hanging in there. I'm excited to see you all and talk about what we're doing here. In the Branded Business series, there's so many updates that I have to get for you all. I'm just trying to make sure I got it all together. I have my script all here. Hey. I set up a number of calls for today because I just feel like if people want to get to it live, then we're going to get to it live, and I know that, and you all should know that when you do something like this, you got to do it a few times for people to even know that you're going to do it. And I'm really excited about having some guests on with me because you all know I could talk for years and years, but I think having specific examples from specific business owners is going to be particularly helpful here. And I'm going to help you all understand in real time why strategy one is essential for your branding. If you want your branding to work, then you want to spend more time on your strategy. So let's go for a second. If you don't already have the BrandCamp 12-week roadmap, here's that. So you can access it on my website. You can download it very easily. And I just have to pin back these bangs, you guys. Just give me a second. But you can download it very easily as a PDF. You don't necessarily have to follow along. I'm not going to go with this particular. We're not going to go through this particular PDF, But I wanted you all to know that this is what I stand behind. This is my approach to branding for every business. Super huge business, really small business. Yeah, they're going to be particulars, right? But this is what I would recommend for you to look at and think about incorporating into your business and your brand. Now, I have to give a big shout out to the Northern Virginia realtors. So, the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors, I'm coming out to meet with them tomorrow and to share. I want to share the event with you all. Let me share my screen here. Present the screen, the whole thing. Yeah. Okay. So this is Building Beyond the Realtor Impact Summit. And I'm going to be out there tomorrow at Fairfax. I don't know if they say NVAR. That's what I would say. But at the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors, I'll be out there with them tomorrow for the Realtor Impact Summit. And I'll specifically be speaking on making your brand work for you. And that's what I do all day long. So I'm excited to go out tomorrow and talk to the realtors about brand building. And because I'm doing that session, I'm kind of doing this live session in dedication to realtors. So I have a couple potential realtor clients that I'm working with, and I'm going to be out tomorrow talking to the realtors. So this topic is very top of mind for me. I always love to demonstrate the technology that I'm using. I think it's important for us to do and to share. So I also have a chat GPT window open, and I wanted to show you all how I use this to help business owners with their brand. So here we are. Can you all see my screen okay? Make it a little smaller here so we can go back and forth. So since we're going to be speaking with realtors, we're going to think about what realtors need to be measuring for. I would love to go in there tomorrow and say, hey, this is what we're going to be actually measuring for you. This is what realtors should measure. But I'm not a realtor, but I have my friend ChatGPT. So I'm just going to help me build a branding dashboard for realtors, period. Most realtors work with large firms, but some are independent. And I want to have a dashboard that works for either. This dashboard should have some data from their websites, but also from their social media sites. And we want to have a connection to their closers, how they're closing business as well. This is how I am. I don't even like to type anymore, and I type pretty fast, but I just use Chat GPT to come up with, hey, let's come up with that first draft and let's use all of the time that we saved to refine it. You should never go with the first thing that it tells you to go with, right? But this is what we want to really focus on. Oh, I didn't mean to take that off the screen from you guys. I meant to do that. Okay. So here's what Chet came up with: website traffic, top content, Google search, SEO. Yeah, that's good. If you can find this data out, I know it might be hard for some realtors to find. It was hard for the pharmacist I was working for. It took us months to get access to his web analytics. But you know what I say? Do it. Do it. Why not? So we have some a brand visibility overview, a social media snapshot. A lot of folks are using social. A lot of realtors, I've seen realtors walking through the houses now with their phones, and they're going live from houses that they're walking through. And that's helping build their audience, but it's also helping them sell their houses. And that's something that we can look for if that's the end goal. Just like for some businesses, it's selling books, right? There's a potential author that I've been talking to about bringing them on for BrandCamp. They're an author, right? So whatever it is, whatever that base number is, you want to sell more books, right? You need to reach the correct audience. And as we start doing that, we start measuring for it. We're still measuring how many books you sold, but we're also measuring some of the measurements that are leading to that actual sale. And in business school and other places, they call it that funnel, right? So as people learn about your brand, at the very top of the funnel is awareness, right? Because if nobody knows about you, then how are they going to work with you? They didn't even know you existed. But once they have awareness, you want to work them down to that funnel, right? The right client that you're looking for. You want to get them down into that funnel to becoming a client and then becoming a repeat client. So we got the social media snapshot. That's important. Then you got lead conversions and closings. I was on an alignable call just yesterday. And this woman, you could tell she had a very shy, like, personality. She wasn't really a big talker, but she was upset. Alignable is great in that we do these one-on-one meetings. And she said, I just wish people would be upfront and honest about whether they want to work with me or not. And I said, well, tell me why you say that. Because she was an accountant. And she said, well, because I get to this place where I do a pitch, I do the whole pitch, and I go through and I send them a client engagement letter and all of this stuff. I take all of this time. And that's where they stop responding. And I said, oh. I said, how would you feel if I told you that that was true for a lot of folks? And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad or that your pitch was wrong. It might mean that they're not ready for your brand. Just because they know about you, awareness, doesn't mean they're gonna hire you. Like, just because they know about you and just because they've taken time to watch your song and dance doesn't mean they're gonna hire you, right? So you have to keep your focus on being consistent and measuring those things, those parts of your funnel. Because when you're measuring that, you can start to understand where the problem is. So I love lead conversion and closings, brand sentiment and engagement. Why do people say how they're reacting to the brand? What do people say? What do people say? And how are they reacting to the brand? The reviews, the engagements, great. So then you got your tech tools to integrate. Yeah, you should think about this. I use Google Analytics. You have so many, right? Canva for content creation, Calendly, Go High Level is what I use for a lot of things as well. So you can do all of these things, but hey, let's get a little deeper for the realtor. Now that we have the realtor dashboard, create one for you know what? My realtor's name is Kirby. All right, so we're making a dashboard for Kirby. Let's see, let's see. That's not Kirby, but it definitely pulled my realtor. Yeah, yeah, pulled her Instagram. That's not Kirby. I feel really bad that it pulled a picture, but that's probably one of her partners. Okay, so we did an organic search. So this is telling us, hey, this is what Kirby and Rick should be looking at as a branding and performance dashboard. I'm going to ask them too. She's going to be like, Madia, did you really talk about me on your co-op? I did. I did. She's a great realtor and we've worked together for some years. So this says, hey, this is what Kirby and Rick should be looking for their branding and performance, right? So they have a website, they have a social media presence, they should look at that engagement. They should look at and understand their conversion funnel, right? So leads, great. Showings, great. Did I tell you all that I don't want to share too much, but I'm also in the process of selling my house, and Kirby and I are working together. And I get emails from Zillow all the time. This is how this is performing. Oh, there was a price drop here. So you get a sense of how the market is doing just from your emails that you start getting when you jump into selling or buying a house. So for realtors, it's incumbent upon them to look at these numbers and to connect them, right? To connect, hey, how does your website lead into your conversion funnel? Hey, how do people that come to the website come through and actually convert people? What is our best channel? You know, what channel should we be spending more time on? So, what I'm going to tell Chad now is think about some insights this data could lend and how cross-referencing and enriching this data with what they already know about customers. I like to think about this informing the brand strategy for the business or what actual platforms you spend time creating content for. Gotta watch that chat GPT. Okay. So chat is very powerful for brainstorming, man. Look at it does stuff that used to take me weeks to do for clients. I can do it in just a couple minutes. Doesn't mean that my work is in a couple of minutes because it is about iteration and making something work well. So it's interpreting the data in ways that sharpen strategy, yes, and save time. Where are we losing people? Where is there good engagement? So channel strategy, right? That's something anybody outside of the branding world hasn't even ever heard before. But when you think about your channel strategy, it's like, hey, if your Instagram Reels generated 70% of your showing requests, how could you shift your effort there instead of overproducing static posts on LinkedIn? You can still produce posts for LinkedIn, sure, but it helps you double down on what works. If you see, hey, this is really working, Instagram Reels are really working for us, then where are you going to advertise? Right? So, next up, high engagement is a brand differentiator. What do you think I'm live for? It's certainly not because I'm very social, which I am, but high engagement is a brand differentiator. So, you want to know what gets you high engagement, right? It might be before and after staging reels. Yeah. Couple dynamics and behind the scenes teamwork. Yes, because I have watched Kirby and Rick work together and they're great and hilarious. And I think a lot of people would love their husband wife dynamic as they help folks sell their homes. So, post about DMV neighborhood insights. I'm one of those people crawling all over there, looking at the housing market, looking at what's happening, looking at interest rates. So, this is of particular importance to me. Why? Because I'm downsizing my home. So, I'm interested in looking and understanding, and I'm looking at mortgages and I'm thinking about these things. So, it's just important to understand that your engagement is a brand differentiator. It really does matter, right? So for Kirby and Rick as realtors, they can see what resonates with people. That's important. So number three, it gave was client behavior, smarter personas, like you can understand your customers better, and that's great. Time to close, talking about marketing efficiency, right? If leads from video walkthroughs close faster than from open houses, then you shift toward more high production digital previews. Doesn't that make sense? You put more of a financial investment to maybe get a team or get some more equipment and then really hone in on getting good at that. Remember, if you're not good at something, oh, we're not good at social. Oh, this isn't my, whatever it is. It's like you can figure it out. You can figure it out if it's something that you're thinking of and focused on, particularly with your AI writer, with your handy dandy AI writer. Now, I think that there are a lot of generations in the workplace. And I'm going to be speaking to realtors, but I'm going to be speaking to I think some younger realtors that are digital native, and I'm going to be speaking to some realtors that have done it the way it's always been done. And I think that that is an important differentiator. So, in looking at how many, I'm thinking about my prompt now. In looking at how many different generations are realtors right now, I want to think about the digital native and the digital fluency of each group and what is recommended, period. I want to emphasize that people have the capacity to learn and that if this is for your business, it's something you can give a good effort to and start to see a return on. Search for found that it's best to, instead of like giving it your whole brain dump, give it little chunks. So this is very interesting. So it's going from Gen Z to millennials to Gen X. Yes, my goodness. Right? You see how quickly that's coming up with all this? So I agree. What is happening right now for realtors? What is current events for realtors? That is something that you have to consider. What's going on in the industry? Search online and learn about what is current and top of mind for realtors in the industry. Has there been any recent legislation affecting them? Period. Question mark. Are there some statistics that you can share from a reliable source, particularly one for realtors, that has data and current events and what they might be focused on? I think that that's incredibly important, right? To spend some time thinking, hey, what's happening? What are the relevant laws? What are the relevant news clips? You know, as a media person and a comms person in the industry for 20 something years, we start the day with your press clips. You know, you want to see what folks are saying, check your email to see if folks are interested in talking about you. When I was with the big companies, they were always interested in talking to us, but it was like, okay, what was said? What are we planning on saying today? So that media drumbeat is real, but from the National Association of Realtors, we can see there's a revision of the buyer agent commission structure. There were updates to the code of ethics. And there was a Maryland condo HOA reserve law expansion. So we can see what's now, instead of trying to even process all of this, what I'm seeing and learning, this is great. So I would say, knowing this, how can we inform Kirby and Rick on what might be effective strategies right now based on the current market? You see, so you're building very quickly. Get ahead of the commission shift. Wow. Use data to stand out in a slower market. Yeah. Competitive strategy. I love that. Turn staging into a signature pillar brand. Okay, let's get your house staged so that we can differentiate your place. Yeah. Hyper local marketing. Yeah. Yes. I love this, right? So it's helping you understand this is what we need to do. This is how this works. Let's turn this into I love this. Yeah. Add this to their realtor dashboard. Let's incorporate our learning into a realtor dashboard for them. Create it as a separate PDF. Did you know chat can do that? Did you know it can? So ChatGPT can actually create a PDF without you ever leaving it. And now it's going back and looking at all of that data, and it's going to create a PDF that I can share with Kirby and Rick. So I'm going to click that and download it. And then I'll open it up so that you guys can take a look. I didn't say it was going to be designed, but wow. You could take that and throw that into Canva really quickly and design it, right? If design is where you're focused, but hey, This is what we're sharing about. This is what your dashboard should be. This is what we should be looking for and checking for and focused on this year for your business. So I hope you all see how effective you can be and how quickly you can build out strategy. And whatever generation you're a part of, you can definitely jump in here and learn and move forward. So it was great to see. I mean, look at these news clips, right? You can see this is all really, really great information. And it's just at your tips, at your fingertips. So I hope you're inspired today by our branding business series. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching, as I know many of you will in the post. I am excited, excited, excited to keep this going. Before I close all my windows, I'm going to share a couple of things about the brand, about the Logan PR brand. Our store is open. Can you see that? So, and I do believe that your brand deserves better than guesswork. So it's about building things right. So you all know how hard I've been talking about BrandCamp and about BrandCamp. And it's really what I am into right now. I really want to help represent businesses, help businesses represent themselves in a thoughtful way. So not, I don't just have the BrandCamp product up here, which can get into the $5,000 a month range, but I have some other products here. Profile Power Hours is where I spend some time solo, but then some time with you working on a profile for your business. It could be a personal profile that you just want to raise your profile on LinkedIn. But I also have the one and done website package because we can get your website done very quickly, very quickly. So we want to make sure that businesses are getting what they need and that we have the space to be clear on what measurable things are happening that we can understand and start to build on to help your brand improve over the long run. It's definitely, definitely worth the investment. So I hope that you all will check out the Logan PR store. I told you all about my session tomorrow, but also there's so much happening with Logan PR on the website. You can get a free online brand report. You can go right in, put your name in, put your business information, and get a free online brand report. Just start there. Just start there, and you can get some low hanging fruit. And until next time, I will talk to you all later. Thank you again for joining, and I'll see you soon. Bye.